Hello everyone, I'm back. This is gonna be an extended part of my Greatsword Spear guide that I made a few days ago, which I saw had a lot of views. In this one, I'm gonna go through the quest logs of the possible builds that I've been theory crafting right now. I will, of course, post the link on the video, and then I'm gonna go through. It's not a VOD, but it's a small video recording of the score that I got in. It was 42 versus 42 war game. It wasn't like a meme. It was between two guilds of the same alliance. We were trying to compete, and I used that the time to see how this class will perform. I gotta say, the higher the scale, the better this performs due to the simple fact that your AoE damage, like for example, fire javelin, this well, this don't ignore this. Okay, but fire javelin, if you use it as a single target, it barely deals any damage. But if you use it on a clump of people, like the fire javelin, imagine you have two people, like one here, one here. You hit javelin here, it goes to this guy, but it's not only that it goes this way, it then procs back. Okay, it bounces. The more people, the more bounces it has. It has an insane AoE damage potential at the end. Okay, so I really believe, of course, the higher the scale, the higher you're gonna die, but what you gotta understand about this combo weapon, this is not meant for you to do like 1 versus 3 plays or anything like that. This is pure bomber nuke suicide build, okay? You pretty much go, you see the backline, you drop with your party, you deploy fear on a clamp, you try to depth smash on another clamp, so you like your first priority is to deploy as much AoE CC as you can on the enemy backline. Then you charge your fire skills and you start proccing AoE damage on all those people. That's the main idea with this build. First build, it's a melee evasion rank endurance with collision resistance. I drop perception at this point. People are going to 2.2k melee evasion. I'm gonna hit the same with like 500 hit than with 1.1k, so it's not worth anymore for me to spec into perception. That's why this allows me to go 50-60. This gives me critical hit chance. This gives me higher damage, and most importantly, this gives me base attack speed. Okay, where we're looking at 40% attack speed with the sword skills, which is pretty huge for guillotine and all those skills. Pretty much stats wise, we're looking at 2.48k melee evasion and 1.12 range endurance. Pretty decent, 18k HP. And look, collision resistance is only 354 with this, but the thing is, if then you add, for example, this skill, 410, we're looking at 760 collision resistance, with that's already pretty huge. Then if you get even one perk of this, we're looking at 800 up to 1000 something collision resistance. That's pretty important with this build, because as I said, if you go into the clamp, you get a tornado in and it breaks your AoE damage, you're gonna die and you're not gonna have any impact. So it is important for you, first, you need the collision resistance to calculate it and to time it to the backline. So you go there, you ignore all the CC, you're able to deploy all your damage and CC and then die and reset. Secondly, you gotta play with the healer. Like, this is not your usual greatsword dagger where you have invisibility and you have evasions, where the healer is nice to have, but it's not critical. With this one, you need the healer to keep you up. I gotta say, on the score that I'm gonna share later, I had no healer on my party. I healed only like 110k heal, and that's purely coming from potions and Miami Toy. So yeah, it's still doable with the healer, but seriously, you get a healer in your party, which is good. You're gonna go crazy with this weapon combination. So yeah, first build. Second build, this is a huge theorycraft thing, okay? This is a triple endurance build. If you check here, melee endurance is only 700, but it doesn't really matter. All you want endurance on melee is literally to survive a G-Blade, for example, okay? You survive the G-Blade, you're good. And then you have 1.50, like 1k50 range endurance and 1k32 magic endurance. I gotta say, of course, evasions are better than endurances, but those two values are decent to survive. But you need the healer, because just understand that with this weapon combination, every flash wave, you're gonna take it to the face, okay? It's gonna deal less damage than if you take it with range evasion, of course, because I mainly played with range evasion and I still died to flash waves constantly, because just the sheer amount of flash waves that are on the map, statistically speaking, you're gonna hit some and then it's gonna deal huge damage to you. In this way you take every single one, but with reduced damage. So what's strong about this build is that you have 40 strength, 60 dex, 41 fortitude. You need the fortitude to pump those endurances to 1k. But the crazy part is, for example, you have the harvester set, which increases your critical damage, super huge for the spear. And then you're maintaining your heavy attack chance through field general. The only pity is that those piece of gear use perception. If I could, I will drop this to literally the bare minimum and use those points somewhere else. But yeah. It's a bit expensive, this build, because it has a bloodlust. You need it for the strength, okay? That item is still expensive, and then you need the 2 harvester piece. These drop a lot of price, but if you check out the average market prices, it's still relatively expensive, and you need this chest piece, which gives you even more heavy attack chance. That's pretty much for the triple endurance build, and then we have one last one, which is full ranged and magic endurance. I really like this one. I think this might be crazy. Bear in mind, on my alliance, I'm not allowed to play this on... Like, I'm not allowed to play Spear Greatsword on competitive settings. They prefer me to go with Greatsword Dagger. So, yeah. I'm not... Of course, with that condition, I'm not gonna commit all my Lunsen to a build that I'm not gonna be able to play competitively. If you check one main difference, for example, is that we drop this ring on this one. That's just due to stats, because it allows us to get 50 strength, 60 dex, 40 fortitude. Okay, those stats are crazy. We get 4 set piece of death set, or the harvester set. Our attack speed base is looking at 46.5%. That's insane attack speed. That's literally just base. Plus increased critical damage. And yeah, you need, of course, another bloodlust. But yeah. And then again, collision resistant wise, base, you only have, what is it? You only have 439, which is not bad, to be honest, but it is still a bit below the threshold. But then again, you pop those skills and you can reach up, like, only with this skill, you're reaching 849 collision resistance. 849 collision resistance, which is pretty good to avoid tornadoes. And then if you stack this, you can reach up to 1.1k collision resistance with the 3 stacks of that passive. So yeah, those are the builds. That's what I figured out yet. Like, of course, things might change. For example, my older builds went with perception due to people stacking so much melee evasion, or having the possibility to stack so much melee evasion. You will need to play with a Mordecai Greatsword, and like, you lose too much to be able to hit people going with melee. So I rather, if I see a miss, I swap targets and I go for someone else, which I will be able to deploy the full force of those stats, okay? I don't really like to commit so much into perception. That's pretty much for the builds. Ignore this one. This is... I don't even know what the fuck is this, to be honest. So ignore completely this build. But those 3 first ones are the ones I theory crafted so far. If I had to commit fully to this build, I'd be... On my current server, I gotta say, where there's not many melees on the enemy team, I'd either go with this one or this one. If you look at the endurances, where is it? It's literally the same range endurance and magic endurance. The difference, for example, is if you look at this, 35% attack speed, 46. It probably will go with this one, because it's gonna save you from 1 G-blade, for example, to the face. And it's still decent protection, but it loses on attack speed, and yeah, I don't know. I'd probably go with this one, to be honest, but you lose to the 150 heavy attack chance, for example. Yeah. It's a bit up to you to figure out what you want to play. Then to the last part of the video, this is a video recording I made of the scoreboard. As you can see, my rank is 8th. I played with Spear Greatsword. I was able to play this because this was a it was a competitive setting, but it wasn't against like an enemy alliance. This was within our alliances. I ranked 8. I want to pay attention to the types of weapons that we're looking at the top of the leaderboard. Bow, fire staff, crossbow, dagger, spear, greatsword, daggers. This is an important point that I will mention later. And then we have bow, daggers, bow, staff, me, bow, fire staff, sword, daggers. Okay. The ranking is based out of kills, as you can see, 46, 45, 40, 39. Okay. Main points. First, I'm gonna mention this guy is super good with greatsword daggers, and as we can see, he's above me with 39 kills, while I deal 36. This is another greatsword daggers. Okay, the main thing we're comparing my build is to greatsword daggers, because that's where my claim is. I think this weapon for GBGs outperforms this weapon without a event, and here's something new. This guy uses a greatsword event. Okay. I don't really care about kills as much. Okay, I'm not gonna say my build is better because I kill literally 3 people more. No, I'm not gonna do that, even though if you check the assistance, you can already start seeing that my weapon combination has more AoE effects. So I hit more people that end up dying, okay? But the crazy part comes on the damage dealt, which for me is a crucial stat that now we are able to check. Because I don't really care about kills, because you can see someone at 100 HP, go auto him, you took a kill, but maybe the other guy did 99.9% of the damage, okay? So who really had the impact? The guy who last hit the target, or the guy who dealt all the damage? And here is the point where the point I want to mention. 1.238 million, like 1,238,000 damage. We're looking at numbers a bit below to the most OP class for AoE damage. I'm closing on them. I even like fire staff daggers. As you can see, I'm closing on those values of AoE damage. But then look at greatsword daggers. This guy has an Adentus, no Tevent. 786. I dealt almost 500k more AoE, but like almost 500k more damage to people than him. And he's super good with this class. This guy is not a bad player. Okay, it's just the difference between the kit that I'm able to bring to the fight. Then this guy, 801k damage with Tevent Greatsword. I outperform him again for almost 500k damage. He has a Tevent. Here is a point where I thought my class is better if you have no Tevent. Greatsword daggers might be better if you have a Tevent due to the flashy movements and the ability to literally do depth smash and kill 6 people. Okay? But then again, what do you value more? This class gives me one single target nuke and AoE damage. Do you prefer people nuking one target out of 200 with like a 20-second cooldown skill where the enemy will be able to be again on the battlefield sooner than the cooldown of the G-Blade? Or do you value more bringing more damage to the table, more overall damage, which this means I might leave like 5 people low enough for a flash wave to come in, kill them, and that's it. 5 people removed from the table. That's why I say I really think this class outperforms Greatsword Dagger in big fights, just to the sheer amount of AoE damage that you... Like, seriously, with this class you have no AoE damage. This is pure single target nuke, and in a, like, 5 versus 5, 10 versus 10, losing one person matters. When you're playing 200 versus 200, if you lose one player, it doesn't even matter, because you have 199 more players fighting. I'd rather take 5 players out, even if that means I'm gonna die later, than take 1 player out and being able to reset through invis and escaping. That for me has no value. This class is pure go to the backline, deploy as much CC as you can and kill. Another thing here is not the value of my CC brings. Through fears, through AoE stuns, because I have deathsmash, so they do, but then I have another AoE CC, which can even prone. Okay, if we could see the amount of seconds that I applied CC to the enemy team, I would think this class you will even shine more, just to the sheer fact that I can go to the backline, I can fear like 5 people, and then I can look for another clump of 4 people and use depth smash there. So you have like 10 persons that are fully CC'd by me, that cannot do anything for those time, while they are taking damage or taking flash wave or not being able to cast their own flash waves. That's pretty much it for my final guide on Greatsword Spear. You might see more footage of me playing through... How is it? You might be able to see more footage of me playing through arenas or something like that, but don't expect any super competitive setting to be played with this class due to the prohibition of my alliance to play this class. You will see me on those fights playing with Greatsword Dagger, trying my best, and that's pretty much about it. See you soon.